I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Now today, as we're reading from the book of Psalms, chapter 142, we will go back and forth between the Psalm and the New Testament. And let's begin by focusing on verses 1 and 2 of today's Psalm. I cry out to the Lord with my voice to the Lord I make my supplication. I pour out my complaint before him. I declare before him my trouble. Mark 14, verses 32 through 36. And they went to a place called Gethsemane. And he said to his disciples, sit here a while, I pray. And he took with him Peter and James and John, and began to be greatly distressed and troubled. And he said to them, my soul is very sorrowful, even unto death. Remain here and watch. And going a little farther, he fell down on the ground and prayed that if it were possible, the hour might pass from him. And he said, Abba, Father, all things are possible for you. Remove this cup from me, yet not what I will, but what you will. Back to today's Psalm, Psalm 142, verses 3 and 4. When my spirit was overwhelmed within me, then you knew my path. In the way in which I walk, they have secretly set a snare for me. Look on my right hand and see, for there is no one who acknowledges me. Refuge has failed me. No one cares for my soul. Back to Mark chapter 14, verses 43 through 50. And immediately while he was still speaking, Judas came, one of the 12, and with him a crowd with swords and clubs from the chief priests and the scribes and the elders. Now the betrayer had given them a sign, saying, the one I will kiss is the man. Seize him and lead him away under guard. And when they came, he went up to him at once, and he said, Rabbi, and he kissed him. And they laid hands on him to seize him. But one of those who stood by drew his sword and struck the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. And Jesus said to them, have you come out as against a robber with swords and clubs to capture me? Day after day I was with you in the temple teaching, and you did not seize me. But let the scriptures be fulfilled. And they all left him and fled. What about Psalm 142, verses 5 and 6? I cried out to you, O Lord. I said, you are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. Attend to my cry, for I am brought very low. Deliver me from my persecutors, for they are stronger than I. Luke 23, verses 44 through 47. Now it was about the 6th hour, and there was darkness over all the earth until the 9th hour. And then the sun was darkened, and the veil of the temple was torn in two. And when Jesus had cried out with a loud voice, he said, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. And having said this, he breathed his last. So when the centurion saw what had happened, he glorified God, saying, certainly this was a righteous man. Psalm 142, verse 7. Bring my soul out of prison, that I might praise your name. The righteous shall surround me, for you shall deal bountifully with me. Luke 24, verses 5 and 6. And then, as they were afraid and bowed their faces to the earth, angels said, why do you seek the living among the dead? He is not here, but is risen. Isn't it amazing how today's psalm speaks so perfectly about the suffering, the death, and the resurrection of Jesus, so many hundreds of years before it happened? You see, the Lord has known this from the foundation of the earth, and he ordained for it to be so. And he told people throughout history how it was going to go down. I'll tell you something else that's going to go down. There is a great judgment, just as there has been a great salvation. And you have a choice as to where you go. If you'd like to know more about that and you'd like to hear the gospel and receive the gospel even today, you can go to our website, groundworksministries.com. I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Groundworks Ministries operates entirely through financial donations from faithful people like you, and we do need your monthly support. Donating is secure and easy at our website, groundworksministries.com. Another way to help is to tell people about Groundworks Ministries. You can share these podcasts with friends and family and on your social media. And of course, you can always direct folks to our website, groundworksministries.com.